I think it's such a rich resource that I don't think there's a ton of archival footage on film from real people's lives of that
Keep
era.
an eye on this one in case he moves.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I believe that's right.
If you're ever digging around your garage.
There was a person that was a tennis player, Richards, in those days who made a lot of news. Very early on. I think the name was Richards. Yes.
You're fine. I'm just going to clap one so that all the cameras will.
Okay. Yeah, we can stop talking about our other conversation.
I'm good.
Ready?
Yeah.
Clapping.
But could you higher? You're not my shot.
What does he want from me? Set.
Is that way? Make sure it's no shots.
So Art, I think we were talking about I'll ask you the first question.
Say that again.
I'll ask you
Yeah.
the question, you
Okay.
start, and then you can ask me.
Ready?
All right.
Set.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So Art, when it comes to your own leadership, how would you have answered that question Art, when it comes to your own leadership, how would you have answered the question?
I know what I don't know, but that's the way I answered it originally. But in the process of continuing my work, increasingly, I realize I don't know what I don't know. And it's in the aftermath when things occur and I didn't realize that those things even existed. And it's at that point that another level of awareness really begins to take shape and helps to inform how I would behave going forward. I anticipate now that there's much out there that I don't know to this work that I have yet to learn. But there's also a great body of work that I know I don't know. For example, I didn't know about fundraising. I'd never done fundraising before. I didn't know about finance literacy, for example. Putting together a budget, of course, but really understanding the intricacies of that has become a new known for me. So those were things that going into this position, there were some things I knew I didn't know that I had to learn. And I was very specific about saying, I don't know this around fundraising, I don't know these areas around nonprofits, and began to seek out coaches, mentors, persons who could help me to learn the areas that I knew were outside my scope of experience. But the work itself is informing. And with that, I realized there were things I didn't know. And that's been really helpful for me. How about yourself? What are those areas for you?
I'm just starting as a new ED, first time ED. I've been on the job for 3 weeks. And I took the survey, I think even before my first day, to figure out where I was in my leadership. And I believe I answered that I know what I don't know, similarly to you, that I have specific areas that I want to improve around financial literacy. I want to improve around how I manage boards as an executive director in that relationship. But I'm trying to enter my job with the kind of humility that I know I'm going to learn things that I never even knew existed. And so to be open to that kind of learning is something that I'm trying to stay connected to that openness, rather than just trying to say, well, I know where I need to grow and that's it. To stay connected to where I could go in terms of my leadership development.
And so what is your process for learning? Once you've discovered those areas where you need strength, and then the new discoveries, what is your process for addressing those areas that are still emerging for you?
I think part of my process has been to connect with peers and really seek out wisdom from folks who are going through a similar experience or have gone specifically, who have been new EDs and are now more matured EDs, to ask, hey, was this something that you encountered in your first couple weeks, months, years of leadership, and really learn from folks around me. And then if there's areas that I'm identifying that are a big learning area, to really try and bring that to my board to say, let's get some coaching from me around this. I think that one of the things I'm really seeking out is someone to check in with on a regular basis for some of the decisions that I'm making across time. What were some of the things that were really surprising to you that you didn't know that you eventually found out that you needed to know across?
It really has to do with the human dynamic. At every aspect of our work, there's a person with a name, a face, a location that's affected, that's connected. And that has been really empowering. At one level, we think organizationally, we think structurally, we think about the technical dynamics of leadership and running an organization. But once we get into the work itself, the persons with whom we work, our staff, our board members, but then the communities where we are providing services, in every instance, there is a real person, there's a real name, there's a real face, there's a real circumstance, real time, real location. That is really exciting because it moves our work out of the abstract to the personal, to the relevance. What makes our work so important is the person whose life has been changed because we were there with them. I find that to be not only empowering, but again, it gives purpose to what we do. It means then every dollar we receive goes to a person who has a need. And to know that no one is left alone, no matter where she is, no matter whatever he is going through, that person is not going through it alone. And that there is support locally available to them. And the support that we provide comes from a larger body of support where funding has been made available so that people who need that money can receive the services that money provides. And I didn't know that. At some level, there's an intellectual understanding of that, but when you begin to engage with people where they are, and you listen to their stories, and you come to know them as persons, not as statistics, not as an issue, not as some object, but as a real person, everything else begins to take shape with a significant level of meaning. That's been really important for me. How about yourself? What discovery in your new 3 weeks, right, that you have had in your position that you said, wow?
I think that part of what my discovery has been in terms of the internal side of the organization around managing the individual personalities that are on my board or staff, and my realization has really been around, it's not so much telling, it's really about listening. And some of the most, and I knew that in my activism work and my organizing, but I wasn't really prepared to bring that into the internal dynamics. And so that a lot of what might become a conflict could be solved just by hearing the concern rather than trying to fix it immediately. And so trying to stay present with folks when they're airing a concern or needing to just talk, especially as I'm coming into an organization that had a long-standing ED, to really hear what their experiences were so that they know that I am standing with them and that I'm not just coming in with a Band-Aid solution.
As you say that, I'm now thinking about members of my board, right? The role of the board for me has shifted so that I'm not just asking people to come and help us to think globally or to think strategically. I'm now inviting people to come join us in serving the communities that we serve, to be a part of our vision, a part of our mission in a real way where they are contributing their own gifts by being present with people. I didn't think about that as being a function of the board until moving into this work, that the board is there to be a presence and to provide their gifts of being with us in service to the communities where we are based. What a wonderful discovery, because I did not anticipate that when I took the job.
I think we have to wrap. You guys are so good. Wow. You were great. That was really great. That was great. Thank you so much.
All right.
She used us, abused us, and she's
Yeah,
kicking
making
us
us
out.
I know.
Oh.
No, thank you.
You.